Welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video we are going to talk about the top 10 most dangerous natural disasters. So before starting this video, like this video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for future updates. According to the World Health Organization, approximately 100,000 people die each year as a result of natural disasters such as earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, storms, tsunamis, floods, wildfires, and droughts, while over 150 million people are affected. Natural disasters have been a part of human life from the dawn of time, yet the death tolls from the first tragedies have been lost to history. According to a 2020 study published in the journal, Proceedings of the National Academies of Sciences, a cataclysmic volcanic explosion on the ancient Mediterranean island of there, now Santorin, Greece, wiped out the whole Minoan civilization approximately 1600 BC. But how many lives were lost in total? We'll never know for sure. Historians can, at the very least, estimate the number of fatalities associated with calamities that occurred throughout the Common Era according to historical records and journals. The following natural catastrophes, sorted from lowest to greatest estimated death toll, are the deadliest of all time, according to such records. In the case of disasters with a death toll range, the disaster is ranked according to the highest estimate. The top 10 most dangerous natural disasters are as follows. Number 10. 2005 Pakistan earthquake. The earthquake that struck Kashmir in 2005 had a magnitude of 7.6. In northwestern Pakistan and Kashmir, an estimated 80,000 people were killed. The shocks were detected in Tajikistan, Afghanistan, Western China, and Indian-administered Kashmir, where over 1,400 people died. More than 780,000 structures are expected to have been destroyed, or damaged beyond repair, with many more rendered useless for extended periods of time. Approximately 17,000 school buildings, and the majority of large hospitals in the immediate vicinity of the earthquake were destroyed, or severely damaged. The several key roads and highways that were closed due to landslides and bridge failures had a negative impact on lifelines. Even 3 months after the major catastrophe, several areas were still shut off from land access. Power, water, and telecommunications services were all disrupted for varied periods of time. However, most services were restored within a few weeks in most places. Massive landslides were a common characteristic of this disaster. In the mid-slope zones, a dense, high-frequency band of landslides was generated along the fault rupture trace. However, it swiftly faded as distance from the fault rupture zone increased. Almost all of the landslides were shallow, disaggregated slides, with only 2 exceeding 0.1 square kilometers in size. Liquefaction was not witnessed or reported by others due to the normally arid region. Number 9. 2003 Iran earthquake. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, a major earthquake measuring 6.6 on the Richter scale struck Bam and the neighboring Kerman region in southeastern Iran, causing considerable damage. Approximately 26,000 individuals were killed, with another 30,000 injured. Number 8. Earthquake in China in 2008. On May 12, 2008, China's Sichuan province was devastated by the world's largest earthquake. The earthquake, which had a magnitude of 7.9 on the Richter scale, killed around 87,000 people. It displaced millions of people. Thousands of them were buried beneath the debris of destroyed towns. Factories, schools, and residences were destroyed, and army and rescue teams had to work hard to reach locations in southern China. Number 7. Cyclone Nargis. On May 2, 2008, Cyclone Nargis wreaked havoc on Myanmar. Around 140,000 people were killed by the cyclone, which washed up densely populated areas around Myanmar's Irrawaddy River Delta. The cost of the devastation was estimated to be approximately $10 billion, and it was the second deadliest storm in recorded history, following Typhoon Nina in 1975. Nargis is the deadliest named storm in the North Indian Ocean basin, and the second deadliest named cyclone in history, behind Typhoon Nina in 1975. Nargis is the 5th deadliest cyclone of all time, including unidentified storms like the 1970 Bola cyclone. However, because the death toll from Nargis and other cyclones, such as the 1991 Bangladesh cyclone, remains unknown, Nargis might be ranked 4th or higher. Nargis was the country's first tropical cyclone since Cyclone Mala hit the country in 2006, which was slightly stronger but had a much less impact. According to accounts, Indian authorities alerted Myanmar 48 hours before Cyclone Nargis slammed the country's shore about the danger it posed. Number 6. Tangshan earthquake. On July 28, 1976, a severe earthquake measuring 8.3 on the Richter scale struck Tanshan, China, an industrial city with a population of about 1 million people. Thousands of people were killed, and property and lives were irreparably damaged as a result of the enormous earthquake. Around 255,000 individuals are thought to have died as a result of the disaster. An earthquake's damage is mostly determined by two things. First, the intensity of the shaking, which is primarily determined by the magnitude of the earthquake rupture, the distance from the epicenter, and the nature of the local soil and topography, with soft soils, such as sediments and fill, being more likely to amplify the intensity and duration of the shaking. Second, the structure's design and construction were shattered, with adobe or stone houses, wooden houses without a well-built frame, and unreinforced masonry construction being particularly vulnerable. The seismic risk had been grossly overestimated, and essentially no buildings or structures had been designed or constructed with seismic considerations in mind. As a result, Tangshan was mostly a metropolis of unreinforced, brick buildings, perched above a big earthquake. Number 5. Tsunami of 2011. On December 26, 2004, at 0:58 Coordinated Universal Time, a strong earthquake with a magnitude of 9.0 struck the shore of Sumatra, generating tsunamis that rushed through the coastal districts of a dozen countries bordering the Indian Ocean. It killed between 225,000 and 275,000 people across 14 countries, with Indonesia being the most hit, followed by Sri Lanka, India, and Thailand. It was one of the deadliest disasters in recorded history, with waves reaching 30 meters (100 feet). Number 4. Tohoku earthquake and tsunami. This earthquake, which struck Japan in 2011, had a magnitude of 9.0. This makes it one of the most powerful earthquakes to ever strike the United States. It is, in fact, the most powerful ever recorded in their history. This quake killed, injured, or disappeared millions of people, destroyed many structures, and even triggered a tragedy that may have resulted in nuclear disaster. Within minutes of the earthquake, tsunami waves, as high as 23.6 meters, 77 feet, were created, striking Japan. The tsunami was responsible for the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear accident, which included 3 reactors melting down to level 7, the release of contaminated water in Fukushima, and the evacuation of hundreds of thousands of people. The fuel supply for several power generators was depleted. Cooling systems were suspended, as a result of the lack of electrical power, causing heat to build up. The buildup of heat resulted in the production of hydrogen gas. Gas gathered within the reactor containment buildings, due to a lack of ventilation, finally exploding. Residents within a 20-kilometer (12-mile) radius of the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant were evacuated, as were residents within a 10-kilometer (6.2-mile) radius of the Fukushima Daini nuclear power plant. Number 3. Hurricane Andrew of 1993. Another hurricane that struck the United States, and left a lasting impression was Hurricane Andrew. It was ranked as the 5th worst hurricane to impact the United States, just ahead of Hurricane Katrina. It left widespread devastation, resulted in numerous deaths, and resulted in billions of dollars in property loss. Number 2. Hurricane Katrina of 2005. Hurricane Katrina was one of the deadliest storms to slam the Gulf Coast in recent memory. It was the 6th most powerful earthquake ever to strike the United States. There were a number of people who died, and there was a lot of damage as well. In fact, the hurricane caused approximately $81 billion in damage, which had to be repaired. It had disastrous consequences. Constructional deformation along the Liujiang Fault, a tiny buried thrust fault discovered beneath the city of Liujiang, caused the earthquake. The Liujiang Fault, which can't be seen from the ground, runs northward at an oblique angle away from the EPG fault system, and many geologists believe the earthquake was caused by rock sliding upward across its plane of fracture. Number 1. Haiti earthquake of 2010. First, let's take a look at the 2010 Haiti earthquake. One of the most recent natural disasters is this one. It had a magnitude of 7.0, making it one of the world's most powerful earthquakes. It shook Haiti and left many people with aftershocks. Over 200,000 people died, and millions more were left homeless and in need of assistance. What do you think about this video? Do let us know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.